I consider myself a creative person and an artistic person more than a business person. I like to make things. It's wonderful to know that after so many seasons, people still love the show and your colleagues appreciate the show. You know, that's really what the Emmys do for you, is to know that those in the industry also admire your work or are happy to have it be part of the elite list of nominees. I've stopped predicting. The year we won, I wouldn't have thought we won. You know, I mean, none of us thought we would win. I mean, I was sat way up in Siberia with Gail, and when we won, we were like, what? Oh my God. We jump up and then just see this ball of chiffon and hair and jewelry like tumble down to the stage where, you know, she and I are running up there. And, you know, clearly nobody thought we were going to win because Dan Cutforth didn't even like write a speech, and he was as flabbergasted as all of us. And it felt surreal. My dress tore as I was, you know, running to get on the stage at the right time, by the right time, because I knew they don't give us a lot of time. And it felt really wonderful. And, you know, I hope we can repeat that, at least for one of our Emmys, but let's see.
You have just 24 hours to open your own restaurant. But this year, we're setting the bar even higher than ever before.
Of course.
You won't be building a restaurant from scratch. This time, we are giving you a restaurant with an existing infrastructure. And it's not just any restaurant that we are giving you.
Should I guess?
It's mine.
Wow.
Over the course of the 19 seasons, I definitely got more comfortable, and I definitely learned how to manage different personalities. I want the best out of those contestants. I want them to be expressive. I want them to tell us what their intention is, because if you're not rooting for those contestants, then we don't have a show. The contestants are the stars of Top Chef. Tom and Gail and I are not. And every season, there's a new batch of chefs. And for me, I get very emotionally attached to them. And at first, the first few seasons, they really wanted me to be very imposing and stern, because they wanted to set our show apart from other shows and communicate that it was a really serious show about professional chefs. But over the years, I found a middle ground in a way to both be super serious about the food, which we all are still, but hopefully exude a little bit more empathy toward the contestants and what they're going through. And I think that's because I'm there every day. I see what they're going through. I've said this so many times, but as difficult as Top Chef looks on TV, it's way harder when you're there in person. And so I really do feel for them. And I'm so thankful that they're willing to come on the show and compete. I would never do Top Chef. It's just such a harsh, it's like nothing you've ever done, you know? And so I hope that over the years, I've managed to still do my job really well as a host, but that you've gotten to see more of my personality and more of how I interact with the chefs and with our guests seamlessly. There are many, many reasons why I left Top Chef, and we don't have time to go through all of them here, but I wanted to make space in my life for other creative projects. I am so proud of Top Chef, and I'm so sad to go. It's very bittersweet. Listen, there are like 129 people on that crew that are like family to me. But at the end of the day, I wanted another challenge, and I wanted to create my own projects and really give a lot of care and attention to Taste the Nation.
How did you start? How did you start with the idea of, I want to farm, yes, but then I also want to teach, because those are two different things.
I think the first, recognizing the huge problem that we have in Puerto Rico, la vulnerabilidad alimentaria. En Puerto Rico apenas producimos un 15% de todo lo que consumimos. There are economic powers also. They don't want us to produce more, because if we grow more, we are going to buy less.
Taste the Nation is a show that celebrates immigrant food and culture in the United States, but we also feature indigenous communities. And the food is just an excuse to get to know the people, to get to know their background, their cultures, what are the issues that they're facing in their community. And it's a show that goes much deeper than a normal food show. You know, it's not a lifestyle show. It has a lot of heart, and it's wonderful to watch, I believe, with everybody in the family, because the one piece of feedback we've gotten from everyone is that they learn so much, not just about the food, but about this country and about history and, you know, all the things that they wish they had learned. And I think that's my job, to make, you know, all of that learning seem fun and entertaining. And I think people laugh as well, and they have a good time. And hopefully for those who like to cook, they try some of the recipes. That's why we're making them, you know, with the people whose recipes they come from. Like, you know, I'm going to see a grandma and she's going to teach me how to make this brie lamb dish for Easter. Or, you know, I'm going to see the head chef at this beautiful restaurant in DC called Lapis, which has Afghani food, and it's the best Afghani food I've ever had. So that's fun too. And you meet so many different people of all walks of life. You know, of course, sometimes we have really highfalutin chefs on there, but a lot of times there's just regular people, and I never know what I'm going to get. Every interview is different. Before Taste the Nation, I could count on one hand the amount of times that I had interviewed anybody, and it was never for television. It was always just for a literary festival or, you know, a food festival. But this is something very different. And so I had to kind of learn on the job with Taste the Nation.
There is this idealized image of America.
Yeah. Immigrants need to have that sense of identity, that sense of community to make sense of who you are.
I tell my kids they can be different, they can be loud.
This is my way.
Of fighting for your own culture.
Exactly.
Champagne, pickles, vodka, my kind of party.
I think you can tell a lot about a person by what they eat. You can certainly tell a lot about a culture by how they eat. You know, you can see what influences they've had. You can tell what grows in their lands. You know, it's such a corny and cliche saying, you know, food brings people together, but it really does. Often people won't talk to you about politics or religion, but everybody will talk to you about food. You know, everyone has such fully formed opinions about food. And so I hope most of all that Taste the Nation makes you want to say hi to that neighbor across the street who you may not have had the curiosity or the bravery to go up to and talk to, or, you know, get to know your fellow Americans, because this is an incredible country and we're so polarized right now. But what I'm trying to do with Taste the Nation is really, in a positive way, bring people together and show people that, you know, yes, we may have different names. We may have, you know, names that are difficult to pronounce, or, you know, our grandmas may have accents and stuff, but actually there's so much more that really unites us that we have in common. And that also immigration is a great thing for our country. It's what makes us a world superpower. It's not only our military or our economy, it's really this mix of so many cultures that have contributed to the American culture. And so that's why, like, even our pop culture is really interesting. Our books, our movies, our TV shows, all of that is fed by all the different communities who have come here over generations and generations. And I think that's fascinating. I would really love to go international. You know, obviously we have a very small crew and a very, you know, our budget is what it is, but I would love to go and taste food, like Turkish food in Berlin. There's a very big Turkish population in Berlin, or Thai food in Australia, or Indian food in London. Right now in our civilization, there's more migration than there has ever been. And I always think it's cool when two cultures mix or bang up against each other. That third thing that those two cultures make, to me, is super exciting. And any immigrant kid will tell you there's so much code switching that goes on. When you leave your house in the morning and go to school, you're one person. When you come back, all of a sudden you're another person. And a lot of us had to navigate, you know, different rules of ways of being, or what was acceptable in our homes and with our families versus out there, you know, in the outer world where, you know, it was all, quote, American, whatever that meant. And so I think that, you know, there's a lot of fertile ground to cover. And, you know, I think we've done a great job. I'm so thankful for this Emmy nomination, because we're a tiny documentary show, you know, and I'm up against some crazy talent, you know, people that I have grown up as a kid looking up to, like Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey are in this category, and David Letterman is in this category, and Stanley Tucci and Kamau Bell, all people that I love and respect. So we're definitely the underdog in this category, but I'm very, very thankful. And I think I have a lot more to do with Taste the Nation. I'd like to produce other projects, whether I'm in front of the camera or not, but I still have a lot to achieve.